So now let's talk about how you can add idioms to your speaking. If your question says, have you ever received a watch as a gift before? Now, most people will say, yes, I have. Today we'll be talking about the use of idiomatic expression in IELTS speaking. So many people have asked me, is it compulsory I use idioms when talking? What if I'm not used to it? Is it a must? The answer is no. Using idiomatic expression is not a must. Is it a good thing to use it? Of course it is. In fact, it's something that earns you more, marks. Let me use it like that so you understand what I mean. When you use idiomatic expression, trust me, you're letting your examiner know that I understand this language. I know how to use this language effectively. What I use in explaining to most of my students is that for some particular tribe in Nigeria, they have proverbs which people in their hometown know, they know about, and then they understand it. And I always say that if anyone who is from your hometown make use of, or who is not even from your hometown, make use of a proverb that you know, that you're familiar with, that is from your language, you believe that this person understands your language well. That's how it is for idiomatic expression too. If you make use of idioms properly, you're telling the listener or the examiner that I understand this language to the core. So using it properly would earn you mark, but it isn't compulsory. It's not a must. There are several people that do not use idiomatic expression when they're talking, when they're answering their questions on the exam day, and they still have a very high score. So that's why I said it's not compulsory, but you can actually add it to it. So now let's talk about how you can add idioms to your speaking. So because most people, they do not use idioms on a daily basis, that is something that is, I think, normal for us here. We do not use it as Nigerians majorly. We do not use idioms on a daily, like in your daily conversation, you do not use idioms. In fact, I think I started using idioms after I wrote my IELTS exams. Then it became part of me. So if you are one that you know that, truly, I really use idioms, then this is what you can do. So when you know you're practicing for your speaking test, and then you want to make use of idioms because you know it's like an added advantage to your speaking test, then the best thing to do is to start learning the idioms that best suit what you majorly talk about. What do I mean by that? You're not looking for idioms or you're not going to look for idioms that mean something like that you really talk about. That's the one funny thing that people do. So it makes it look like the use of idioms is very difficult. It isn't. Just don't pick the ones that are very difficult to use for you. Example of what I'm saying is, everybody, most people know about once in a blue moon. It's a very popular idiom. Now, I can learn about once in a blue moon, and I will have reasons to use once in a blue moon in my speaking. There are some idioms that you would not necessarily need on the exam day. Those are not the kind of idioms that you should use or practice with. An idiom of such is under the weather. You would not have reasons to always answer your question by telling the examiner you're sick, you were sick, or you're sick. Do you understand? Under the weather means when somebody is sick. So such idiomatic expressions are not actually needed. You do not have to learn them, except you're learning them for your personal purpose. But if it's for the exam, then it's best you learn idioms that you can easily use. Now, an example of those idioms are once in a blue moon. That means something you do once in a while, occasionally. So instead of telling the examiner, I don't go to the cinema every time, I only go to the cinema once in a while, then you can always tell the examiner, I only go to the cinema once in a blue moon because I'm always busy at work. So idioms that you can easily use are what you should practice with. That's the first thing that would help you when it comes to using idioms in the IELTS speaking. Another thing that helps is to know how to manipulate your idioms into your speaking. This is like the best thing to do. If your question says, have you ever received a watch as a gift before? Now, most people will say, yes, I have. My friend gave me a wristwatch. In fact, my friend gave me a wristwatch last week. Oh yes, my mom bought me a wristwatch while I was younger. There are different responses to that. Now, so some people leave it at that. For myself, because I want to manipulate idioms into my speaking, my response would be, of course, I've received a watch as a gift before. This was given to me by my friend some years back when I was in secondary school, and I could say I was on cloud 9 all through the day because it was a smartwatch. That was my first time getting a smartwatch as a gift, and it was something that fascinated me so much. Now, I wanted to get what I've done there. Nobody asked if I was on cloud 9, if I was not. I wanted to mention that I was very happy in my conversation, in my response. So I made use of on cloud 9 instead of saying I was very happy. In fact, some people do not even have to say they won't even say they were happy when they were gifted the watch. They'll just say, yes, I've received a watch as a gift before, and then they keep quiet. They feel like, oh, I've answered. But what I'm driving at is that I was able to use idioms when it was not even necessary for me to use. That's what we mean by manipulating idioms into your speaking. So you can easily use idioms anytime, as long as your mind is there, as long as you are conscious of using idioms. Trust me, it's so easy. So the first thing I said you should always do when you know you really want to use idioms in your IELTS speaking, learn about idioms that are really easy for you to remember and then you can easily use. And the second thing is to learn how to manipulate idioms into your speaking. That means you're conscious of using idioms. You're not forgetting that you want to use idioms. So even when you do not have reasons to use idioms, you stylishly use it. And trust me, you're not stylishly using idioms in a wrong way. As much as idioms is not compulsory, and then if you use it, it's very good because it will earn you more marks. It can also lead to a very low score, because when you use idioms wrongly, you're going to hit a very low band score, like if it happens regularly. Now, the last thing I would like to talk about is practice with somebody. So you're not just using idioms, you're not waiting for when you want to go for your exam or just doing it sometimes. It's something you should do on a day, like every day. For myself, or let me use my students now, when they come around, every time they come around for their training, we always have a speaking session for everybody, not just one person. And then I pair them. So when they are done with their classes, instead of rushing home or rushing to work, because most people are adults, so they have works and everything. But before they leave, they do some practice together. Oh, okay, let me ask you a question. Then you put down my mistakes and so on. So with that, you have somebody you're practicing with. So you don't just wake up in the morning and assume the idioms will just come. It's not something you use on norms. So you shouldn't expect it to come to your mind or remembrance when you need it on the exam day. So I mentioned 3 things. Learn idioms that are simple for you to remember. The second, try to manipulate idioms into your speaking. Even when you're talking to your friend, use that method. It's going to work on the exam day like that. And the last one is, do not just wait for the exam day. Start practicing with somebody. You can even do a video recording of yourself. It might not be video, it might be audio. So that you can listen to everything you've said and then put down your mistakes and try to adjust. So let me know what else you would like me to talk about as regards to your IELTS preparation.